Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Don the Kraken Wit, and I am here with my buddy Greg Whitestorm, and apparently he loves boobs. But welcome back, buddy. It's really good to have you back on the Kraken Cast, and I'm not taking full credit for this. Half of it is his idea. So, Greg, can you tell us where we can find you, and I'll put any links in the description for you.
Just as a Eurofighter decides to take off outside my house.
And a plane takes off.
Oh, great. Cheers. Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, just Whitestorm. The I's, zeros, and E's are numbers, so 1, 3, and 0. And I'm sure you'll be able to find me. I'm sure it'll be linked in the down there. And you can also find me on my Facebook public figure page as well. I quite often post to that and say what I'm doing and give little screenshots and little snippets of what I'm doing. And I link just about everything to that as well. And it's really my first protocol, and I'm pretty easy to find on Instagram and all the rest of that jazz as well.
Right. So. And I tried to tell the audience last time. I was like, he's a handsome bastard. I was like, look at him. Look at him. He's a cute little boy. Sir Gregory.
Sir Gregory.
Sir Gregory. Well, we were going over topics today, and there's something that's happened, and it's been in the media. It's been pretty much under scrutiny, under the spotlight, and we wanted to talk about it. And Greg, for everybody in the audience, if you don't know, Greg is he's really into politics. He really is. You know, he knows a lot more than me, but both of us also know right from wrong. So Greg, do you want to talk about the whole Weinstein situation?
Well, the Weinstein situation, very interesting, or should we say the Weinstein casting couch?
Yeah, no shit. The casting couch, yeah.
The casting couch of destiny, yeah. I mean, there's some pretty important people that have been, or flagged themselves up, have been quite happy to come out. Admittedly, though, it has taken them some years to finally come out in the media, which I find quite shocking, actually. Why didn't these people, I mean, I'm sure they were crying out in the right channels at the time, but why weren't they why wasn't it more, at the forefront of media? If this is what it takes to become an actress, oh my God.
Right.
It's pretty shocking. I mean, we're talking about pretty big people: Angelina Jolie, Gwyneth Paltrow. We've got some other ones here that I can't pronounce.
Who'd you put?
Kate Beckinsale, Rose McGowan.
Yeah.
She's come out with a full rape claim as well. Kate Beckinsale, when she was 17, says that she was in a pretty dodgy situation. That he meted and greeted her in his bathrobe, and she goes on to say that she was an incredibly naive and young woman, which of course she is. She's 17. She's just a kid.
And it's also the idea of, like, maybe I should meet with this person because this person is a massive influence.
And he's going to get you in the show, whatever,
right,
and you will do anything for that, and he well knows that. That's an abuse of power. Complete abuse of power.
You know, it reminds me a lot of the Bill Cosby situation. You know what I'm saying? But like Bill Cosby, his thing was, yes, against women and everything, but he was trying to rape and drug them on top of them.
Yeah. Whereas this guy was doing it purely with the
power,
the promises of power.
Yeah.
Similar to the Ted Heath situation, old British Prime Minister, that's been in the news, and there's a big investigation that they're sinking millions into in Wiltshire, and basically he was doing the same thing. He'd be using his power, but he was with little boys. I'm not going to go into that too much because we want to really stick with the Weinstein situation, but that too, an abuse of power, and power does crazy things. But Kraken, do you think that this has come about because of the weakening of the likes of Hollywood compared to platforms like Twitch and YouTube and all the rest of it?
Not necessarily. I would like to believe that it's somebody finally decided to speak up, and this is something that both you and I talked about it earlier. It's anybody out there You know, like
Yeah,
going through something like this, like don't feel like you're alone. You know.
absolutely. And this can't just happen at the top. It
Hmm.
happens all the way through,
Yeah,
from the
everywhere.
cleaner down up to the CEO. People are either at the bottom getting abused or at the top abusing people under them who are just trying to get a position,
Yeah, and
or trying to.
finally, you know, with anybody going through this situation or any similar situation, you know, 9 times out of 10, when somebody goes through something like that, they're extremely scared to speak
Absolutely.
up, and then when they actually decide to speak up, others decide to speak up about it. You know,
Yeah,
and so like now it's like you're not alone. You know,
but
like
it does, and it's been accused of in the media, especially in the top media. I presume they have ties to some of these very powerful people. That it's becoming a bit of a slugfest against this one guy because so many are coming out at the same time. But
mhm.
obviously, when somebody does finally get that media attention and does flag up some sort of issue, very much like this, um, everybody else is going to get the confidence to do that, and by all means, they should have the confidence to do that.
Like I do some weird and kinky stuff. I'm not gonna lie. When you know in my life, you know, especially sexually, it's you know like it. Okay, yeah, I would really like for some girl to watch me take a shower. You know, like whatever. Like that's fine and dandy as long as she is okay with it. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna force myself on her. I'm not gonna, you know, try to put phallic objects inside of her if she doesn't want it. You know, like, dude, like this shit is fucking crazy. You know, like just
Yeah.
hearing all these accusations. You know, which hell, it sounds like it's probably true. You know, like one of the girls had a wiretap that the police
Yeah.
gave her. You know, and him just pretty much forcing her and convincing her to come into the room to do this, to do that. He's like, yeah, just sit down and have a drink. And she's like, what? I don't drink alcohol. And he's like, well, just have a water. I'm gonna go take a shower. How about you watch me do it? You know, like, what the hell? You know, like, but neither here nor there. Like,
Mm.
him with his power, or anybody within their own power, you know, trying to proactively push themselves on somebody else and use
Yeah.
and abuse them, that is not
It's
okay.
wrong.
That
It's
is
wrong on
not
every single
okay.
count.
Yeah, that is not
But
okay.
the thing that gets me the most is that, yeah, we're finding this all completely shocking because it's at such a high profile.
Hmm.
But this literally happens every single day in countries that don't value gender equality.
Right.
Uh, like India and Pakistan, and like you always hear about on the news uh,
Yo,
about
women
gang
just
rape and
got
all
the
sorts of
right
stuff.
to drive.
In
And
Saudi Arabia,
yeah,
yeah,
what? Like it's 2017, you know? Like
exactly.
what the hell? You know, it's a real thing. Like and we hear about it all the time. We hear
Mm.
about it all the time. And then it just goes to the back of our minds or a lot of people, you know.
Yeah. So why is it that we only notice it when it is somebody in Hollywood at the very top?
That's very interesting. That's very
Why?
interesting.
You know,
Why is that? Yeah. It's like because this person, quote unquote, has power behind their name. Because
uh,
they're such an influence. You know, they're such a big person. You know,
yeah,
but it happens every single day.
absolutely, and it is just shocking. So, I mean, I don't know. Is there much more? Did he even deny it? He admitted his
No, he
behavior
admitted it.
caused a lot
Yeah,
of
he was
pain.
like, "Yes, I'm seeking help. Yes, I'm going through this. I'm getting coaching."
Oh no, it says here. It says here on the BBC. He has admitted his behavior has caused a lot of pain, but has described many of the allegations against him as being paternally false. But I would suggest that with the wiretap and all the rest of it, the volume of people, throw enough mud at the wall and some of it will stick. I'm pretty sure that a lot of these people are not going to be just jumping on a bandwagon. They don't need to be putting their names through some of this stuff. They're not out to get more fame. Angelina Jolie does not need more fame. She
Right.
and probably is up there with some of the most famous people in the world. So
Yo, mic up.
they're not getting anything, are they?
Mic up a little bit more.
Mic up. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, yes, I can.
Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah. So, and what's this? He's on about settlements that he's done in the past with people,
To try and get rid of
which
it.
exactly, but
Yeah.
it's not to be construed as an admission. Well, to me, if you're trying to silence somebody, that's pretty much an admission, isn't it?
Right. Absolutely.
And this goes back decades. I mean, how can something like this happen for that long? I can't understand it.
Well, Greg, if I have enough money, I can make you go away. You see what I'm saying? If I
Yeah,
have enough money, I can make you go away. That's still not okay.
of course it's not okay.
Not okay.
There's more people I don't even know, but I'm just on the BBC website here, and it goes on and on and on and on. And this thing, I think some of it broke over Twitter as well.
Right.
So
Oh, it
as much
spilled
as
out everywhere, dude. Like,
yeah,
it spilled everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good to see though that it's not just the main outlets that do control a lot of what people see. It's good to see that in the 21st century we have stuff where people can. Yes, a lot of it's bullshit, but some of it is not bullshit. You know?
Yeah, it's to see most of the bullshit that does go on in real life, like everything that's going on around us. But like it's really nice to actually see all of us band together and
Yeah.
highlight this extreme wrongdoing, that somebody is doing onto another person. Like it's wrong. Yes, there's tons and tons of oppression and racism throughout the entire world, okay?
Mm.
But I just want everybody to know, like, if you speak up, there's others that are right there with you that have been through
And
the same exact thing. That when you speak up collectively, all of us are going to be like, what the fuck is this? Like, what's going on?
and in theory, there is nobody above the law.
Absolutely. In theory. That's
In
in
theory,
theory. Unless you got enough money to make it go away.
yeah, but that's outside of the law.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a big equality drive in the military, or in my military at the moment, that I'm part of. And, I'm constantly going to diversity and inclusion classes and doing. And I don't think that the RAF that I'm in is particularly leading the way. But for an organisation such as mine that has had um, inequalities in the past, women on the front line and all the rest of it, I think that the state of play today is certainly a much better one, especially in the Western Hemisphere, for women. And I don't think that they should need to do all of these casting couch type things that people are saying that they're accusing Weinstein of doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They shouldn't need to. It should be purely on merit and their quality.
They shouldn't feel the need to, like, do something drastic to actually get their name on the table.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Weinstein, I suppose you could say, he's a self-professed oligarch
Yeah. Yeah.
of Hollywood. So
It's a shame.
Is this an isolated? What I want to know is this an isolated one man show?
No.
Or is
Hell
there?
no. Hell no.
So why isn't there a wider investigation going into this, or
Oh,
are they just going to keep it?
there probably is. We just
scapegoating?
probably don't know about it. Like,
Are they
like the
scapegoating
Weinstein
Weinstein 'cause
company is probably fucking under, like, a microscope right now.
Absolutely.
Like, HR is under microscope. Or at least
Maybe they
should
should
be.
look at them all.
Yeah.
Why not
Look at
get it all out
everybody.
in the open? Absolutely, cut it out now. I don't want to be supporting somebody who's doing this kind of activities. I want everything to be straight and narrow.
Right. Right. Before we move on, just one more time, anybody that is out there going through any kind of similar thing, being sexually harassed or doing things that you don't feel is right because they're trying to make sexual advances on you in the high hopes that they're gonna promote you, and like Greg, you're using the casting couch, it's like that's like a typical, like, kind of porn thing, you know, like
Exactly.
audition, pretty much. You know, but I just want everybody to know, like, if you do speak up, you are not alone, and you will have people that will help you and will back you up. And
And something I'd
go
like to
ahead.
say as well is in the spirit of gender equality, um, although we don't hear about it obviously, I'm sure there's more than likely some sort of degradative acts that are performed by men in order to get into those higher positions as well, and they equally are not acceptable in today's media.
That's probably true. That is probably true. That's
And
a
I think
story we don't hear. You know.
that's right.
That's probably true. Ladies and gentlemen, I did not want to completely set the mood for this podcast, but it was something that we both equally felt like we needed to talk about first. It just something that we both wanted to say. So let's switch it up a little bit. Let's take it to a lighter tone. And Greg, I wanted to talk to you about Marvel versus DC, man. Do you have a side? You know, like are you a superhero fan? Did you ever read the comics when you were younger? What's going on? Like, how do you feel about that?
To be honest, I never really read the comics when I was a kid. Obviously, if there was one going around, I'd read it. But
Right.
in terms of did I get them as a child? No. I didn't come from a particularly affluent area, and it's not something I ever really got exposed to. But it's something I've always wanted to get involved in, I suppose. And I've seen just about every single movie that's ever come out, and read a bit of things online, and watched a few parodies of it as well, and absolutely love it. I mean, Marvel, your light-hearted, classic American hero from the 50s, against the DC kind of thing where it's dark and it's more realistic. There's an element of realism, but with the supernatural, I don't know if you would call it supernatural sometimes, but we've all grown up with it in the modern era, and I love to have that escapism, definitely. And the idea, like for instance, the X-Men. I loved the cartoon when I was a kid. I used to watch it religiously.
Oh, the 90s one? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the one. Oh, I love that. Absolutely brilliant. In fact, I would suggest that comes a very close second to my one of my favourites, Bucky O'Hare, Captain Bucky O'Hare. That was one of my favourite ones.
Who the hell is that?
I don't know, it's probably something you didn't see, but
No.
Captain Bucky O'Hare and the Toads from Mars or something, I don't know. And the Biker Mice from Mars.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude, I was about to mention them. I was like, biker mice from Mars. I was like, do you remember Sewer Sharks? Or Street Sharks?
Street Sharks, yeah, there's
Street
toys for them
Sharks!
now. But they are in a good category, but they don't. I don't feel that they beat the likes of Thundercats. I think Thundercats is unparalleled.
Thunder.
I don't think there's anything else that can beat Thundercats.
Thundercats! Oh! Dude, that shit is fucking
Oh, yeah.
amazing, dude.
Give me
Oh
sight
my
before sight.
God. That is amazing. Well, I'm more of a DC fan. Like in general. I'm not talking about the movies, like, because if you want to talk about the movies, Marvel is just killing it. Like, Marvel has, like, they found
It's a machine.
Oh, it's a machine, but it's a fucking well-oiled machine, and they got
Oh,
it
yes.
going on. Like, I'm really excited
And-
about Thor Ragnarok.
And because it's light-hearted as well, and
Yeah.
there's that funny little element that's perfect for the kids and the adults can get involved. They got the formula
Mhm.
spot on.
Yeah. Like, dude, probably the most... I am so looking forward to Black Panther. Like, I can't even see straight. Like, looking forward to Black Panther. That shit is amazing. Like, that trailer, I've never been more hyped, like, than just listening to that fucking Black Panther trailer. That shit was fucking... To me, like, that shit was fucking amazing. I'm so
But
excited
saying
for
that, remember there have been some flops. Daredevil, for instance.
Well, that was
Elektra?
that was like before they went into like their first, like okay, Iron Man started the whole thing.
Yes,
Like
and
the
I
very
still think it's
first
awesome.
Iron Man started it. You know, and
And
then they.
it's lasted the test of time. I still think that they're brilliant now. I'd watch
Oh
them
yeah,
today.
absolutely. Like Iron Man 1 is still probably Marvel's best movie. Like arguably Marvel's best movie.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah,
Probably. You know, it's
probably.
like, and you can't hold the old 90s Batman up to, you know, like the new DC, etc. You know, like they're
George
the
Clooney Batman.
DCEU extended universe, you know, like whatever the fuck they want to call it now. You know, I actually did enjoy Batman versus Superman. Like I really enjoyed it because they did the whole uh, Dark Knight Returns, like with, you know, Batman putting on the mech suit and like beating the dog shit out of Superman. Like I fucking loved it, you know. But like it wasn't a straight up replication. You know, they just took inspiration from it. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that was I thought it was good. I thought it was good.
I would like to have seen in that movie a little bit more of, because you know you had Superman had his little minions,
Hmm.
and Batman had his little minions. Where did they come from? Well, I want to see the infrastructure behind that. I want to see how
Well,
that was all created.
it's
How did
like
they
when
so-called take over the world?
yeah, when Superman died, you know, like when Doomsday killed him in the comic books, it's like he had drones that lived in the Fortress of Solitude, you
Yeah,
know, because like he's got this palace with like different aliens from different worlds and different cities that he's collected from Brainiac, you know, and like all this shit, you know, and
yeah,
it's like his heart beat once in the ground, so they like isolated his position, and then his heart beat again like a month later, and that's where they found his body, you know, and then
yeah.
like resurrected him. You know, it's just crazy. Like, but you can't explain all of this history in movies. You know, it's
No.
like this comic book series has been going on forever. You know, but like they always do reboots like all the time. You know, so some of the Wolverine comic books are not like canon with the actual story of Wolverine. You know, like
Mhm.
it's just kind of a fantasy story. You
Yeah.
know, and like when new movies come out, like some old coworkers of mine, they were like, well, this doesn't make sense because like I remember Batman was fighting you know, like somebody way back in the day. I was like, dude, if you talk about like Val Kilmer Batman like having anything to do with like modern day Batman, like with this story, like
Absolutely.
you're silly. You know, like it's a different universe, you know, and that's just a different idea that people just cannot wrap their head around.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And some people really do get that wrong. That they need to understand that some of these movies, some of them, not all of them, but some of them are standalones almost,
Yeah,
standalone
yeah.
series that are separate.
Like the Christopher Nolan Batman, that's standalone. That has nothing to do with what the new Batman and Superman. That has nothing to do
Absolutely.
with it.
Yeah.
Not the same person. And I
Although
hated Christian
Arnold
Bale as Batman.
Schwarzenegger as Doctor Freeze.
Said, you need to chill out. You know, like, what the fuck? I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, what is going on? Like, I
Oh
was like,
dear.
the puns are way too much right now.
I don't know.
All right. So, I
So
wanted to
maybe
talk to
we
you.
should ask the audience what is their favorite Marvel or DC, and also what is their favorite movie or comic series, or what would they like to see published onto a movie format as
Look at
part
you,
of that.
Greg. So interactive with the audience.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Which
yeah.
actually brings me to our next point with you being interactive with an audience and wanting to entertain and everything. You're a big gamer, dude. Like you're a
Yeah.
huge gamer and you love it. Like you're in the Air Force. You got a family,
Yep.
but you sit there and you crank out video games, dude. Like it's wonderful. Like I love video games too, but like I just, you know, I don't upload as much as you do.
Yeah. Although saying that, I have been a
what's
little
your
bit lazy this last week.
yeah? What's your deal with the video gaming?
Um, I prefer survival games. I've been branching out recently into some Lord of the Rings, the Shadow of Mordor kind of stuff, the original Shadow of Mordor 1. But I mainly play World of Tanks in my spare time. I'm part of a community that we play that, and I've been doing a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5 at the minute. And I really started with games like Subnautica and 7 Days to Die. I love the idea of the survival thing. So yeah, I don't create specifically a story behind it. I wanted to switch it up when I used I've done about 13 episodes of The Shadow of Mordor, and I just wanted to use the cinematics and how I got between the cinematics as the basis for that video, and just really showcase how good the game is.
Yeah.
And recently, actually, there's been some hype that it took one person a day to get through the new Shadow of Mordor 2 game, and I'm not surprised because the game
just ran through it.
Just ran through it. I mean, these guys have got no lives. Obviously, it's like people who are doing speed runs of games and then they're doing it over and over and over again and then posting the record. That's just nuts. I want to play for the fun. I want to showcase the fun. I want to develop a personality and a rapport with the potential audience. And I want to, if it's a survival game, build something really pretty maybe. And that's the whole point of it. I do it because I enjoy gaming and I like to share those experiences. And maybe meet new people doing it as well, which I have done, like yourself.
Yeah.
It's just a learning process. Some people have a hobby where they build cars. Mine's a little bit smaller and fits in a little room. But they spend probably more money than I do on games, on mechanics and stuff like that, or whatever else hobbies that people have. So I just do it because I enjoy it. And it's not gotten any further than that at the moment.
Just for the audience, in between our last podcast and this one, he deconstructed a computer.
Yeah.
Rebuilt it in a new case. And here we are. And everything works. Like, dude, okay, my computer now, like, I did build it myself. Dude,
yeah.
It was not that fast. It was not that fast. Okay? Like, when I was taking apart my old computer, like, I had to watch tutorials, I had to do this, I got the little static wrist thing, like the whole nine. You know what I'm talking about. Like, it's insane, it's crazy, dude. And like, yeah, you just like sent me a message, you were like, yeah, meh, like, it's fine, yeah, just knock this out, yo bro, check this out, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, holy shit.
It kills an hour.
Yeah, it kills an hour? What the fuck? No, like, you gotta mount the motherboard and shit? And then, no, It's not an hour, dude. Like,
it was? In fact, I think I did it in quicker than an hour.
Probably for you. I'm just saying, like, for normal people, it's not a fucking hour.
For those of you that are interested, I literally switched from my Corsair standard plain as you like case to a Carbide Series Air 540, which I got real super cheap. Didn't really get much with it extra, and I just literally transposed everything in. It's a lot fatter, a lot sexier, lots of airflow, very quiet, and I absolutely love the case. It's also got pretty blue lights and a big window so I can see my RGB CPU through it.
Yeah, I got a window on mine, but it's on the other side of the tower. My tower's to my left. And
my tower's to my right.
Yeah, so I can't see the fucking window.
The Corsair CPU symbol changes color. It keeps catching my eye.
I love Corsair, dude. Like, in their little sigils, just a little sailboat. Like, I'm like, oh, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, but they're really
Corsair
good
mad
products.
recently.
Yo, Corsair,
Corsair
hit
RGB headset, K75. I got the Corsair M45 mouse. I'm just going Corsair nuts at the minute. Corsair RAM, cute Corsair water cooler, Corsair case. 2 of them now.
Oh shit, yours is water cooled as well?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you fucking dickbag. All right.
And I did it all with one pair of hands.
Jeez.
On the floor, in me little room.
All right. Well, our next two topics that we wanted to talk about are pretty much all you, homie. You're a big history buff, and like
Yes, I love.
you were hesitant about talking to me about it. Like I think I'm good with it, but you're very very passionate about it. You know,
Yes.
so I wanted to give you an opportunity to actually, speak your mind and bring up anything that you wanted to talk about, and I'm right here, buddy. So educate me, sir.
Um, what I find remarkable, what keeps drawing me back to specifically World War Two, although I keep looking at other wars, the Boer War, World War One, and various other things, is just why did it happen? And there's a lot of excuses and for instance,
There was an
Kaiser
evil
Wilhelm
fucking
in
Nazi
the
running
First World
around
War.
killing people.
But the weird thing was, for me, when you look into it, he he made some interesting decisions, but he also extended a lot of hands of friendship here, there, and everywhere. And he tried to come up with resolutions to avoid war. And it was only after the fifth or sixth or seventh, I can't remember exactly the number, amount of times that he couldn't negotiate with Poland to reconnect the Danzig corridor, that it resulted in war. But he really didn't believe that Britain and France would team up again, and various other things that happened. And the fact that Churchill and Eisenhower and who I don't think the French were involved in that specifically, but maybe Stalin, they opted for total annihilation, and there was no, right, we're going to save a lot of lives of a lot of people if we stop here. And it blows my mind that they were so flippantly able to get rid of so many people in order to achieve an outcome to effectively restructure the world. And it really goes, for somebody that's in the military, steeped in glory and all the rest of it, but when you look past all that crap and you see what it's all about, and the little power plays and the side bits, the amount of people that were lost, was it all worth it, is often a question I often come back to. What do you think it was? I mean, obviously it was worth it for America. Look how powerful they are now today. But it certainly was not worth it for Britain. We were the most powerful country in the world.
At the time, yeah.
Now we're not. Not that long later, you know. France, one of the most powerful countries in the world. They're definitely not the most powerful. I mean, they're up there, but they're not the most powerful country in the world. Second only to Britain. You know, America was a backwater. It was nowhere, and then it's become this super powerful country. Arguably, the Russians won the war. When you look at how many soldiers they lost and how much land they took, and you look at all the numbers, technically they won, but they didn't really gain anything from it. When we got to 1991 and the Berlin Wall came down, the end of the Soviet Empire, they lost everything. So it was rather temporary, and it just blows my mind. But then I look back at my family history, and for instance, my granddad was at Dunkirk in the evacuation of the British Expeditionary Force. Yeah.
Holy shit.
He was in the Air Force and managed to escape. One of the 300 and something thousand people that got out. But so obviously there's an immense, and it's ingrained into the British psyche, it's an immense national pride over the Second World War. But the more you look into it and move away from the propaganda and the remembering them and all the rest of it, you kind of wonder, well, what was it all for? And it all comes down to several reasons I've found, and we're going back to the Weinstein thing, power, money, and various other reasons. It doesn't. I think there needs to be some sort of change or some sort of growing up of the human species, because surely we can't keep sacrificing that many people. And that comes on to like modern day stuff. Donald Trump is so potentially happy to nuke millions and millions of people with a fallout area that's going to cover a lot of places, and then whoever it may be may retaliate. That's a lot of people just to waste on a go for it, buddy, kind of line that he could potentially say.
Like, I think about that with Donald Trump and South Korea and everything. I'm like, dude, okay, like, I understand that this guy is very flamboyant, like, and I'm talking about Kim Jong-un, or but whatever the fuck, however you pronounce his name. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, but dude, probably there's so many people in that country that do not agree with him. You know,
Yeah,
but
they're
they
scared
just
to say.
cannot do anything about it. They're innocent lives. You know,
Exactly.
like, and you're just willing to waste them. You know,
I mean,
like,
America has technically completely surrounded them. What would you do? You would threaten them back. Of course you would. And
Right.
it's gonna result in some bad stuff happening eventually. I expect. It just depends on whether the outcome is worthy of the rewards, and I would suggest that very rarely is that the case in terms of war.
Yeah, it's like I get that there's a lot of focus on like terrorism and things of that nature. Like, I understand that, I get that, because nobody wants that, you know. But it's like, dude, like, don't wipe out an entire country just because of this one asshole. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky thing. I'm not sure we
It's
can
a
get
tricky
into
thing.
it, the
Yeah,
detail.
it's very tricky. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm glad I managed to get that. My I'm not sure if I even shared a fully developed opinion, but just the point of it is it comes back to money and power. I'm pretty sure,
Hmm.
and who wants it more, and what you're prepared to do for it, and that does go back really to the Weinstein thing at the beginning of the video. What are you prepared to do to get money, fame, and power?
Right. Right.
And if you're prepared to do it, whose fault is it? That's the ultimate side of the argument, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Like, what are you willing to let go to meet your individual means?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very tricky subject.
Yep.
Very tricky.
I'm glad we got to talk
So-
about it.
So what have you been doing? I rebuilt an entire computer in the last 2 days.
I've been
although I
looking
did it
for a
in an hour.
job. I can tell you that much. I've been looking for a job. We had a couple layoffs at work, and unfortunately, I was one of those people. I was actually talking to you about this. I guess we're gonna escalate one of our topic points here. I'm gonna start a Patreon. Anybody that likes me, enjoys hearing me, and you yourself, you've helped me out a lot. Anybody that wants to help, that is greatly appreciated. I'm gonna launch that. You brought up the idea of doing rewards.
Yeah.
To be honest, because I think honesty is key. I'm not sure what those rewards are at the
Well, maybe
moment.
the people can suggest some
Yes,
decent
yes.
rewards down in the description in the comments section.
Yeah,
Try and help you out a bit.
yeah.
What are you prepared to give away?
That's something to definitely do. It's
Let's keep the Kraken creating.
Yeah. Kraken creating. Yeah. That's, you know, I've been so wound up, and like so many people give me shit. Like, dude, I got comments like on my videos and whatnot. Like, they're like, "Oh, R.I.P." Like, they'll just randomly comment like, "Oh, I guess this channel is dead," etc., etc. You know, and I'm like, you know, like I've been doing shit. You know, like I've been working. You know, I've had some really fucking shit I don't want to talk about happen to me outside of this fucking room. Okay, you know, like it's hard, you know, and like I'm not sitting here like, and initially I did not have the time to just sit here and grind. Like I do have more time available now that like I'm unemployed, you know, so it's just something that I love YouTube. I love YouTube. Like I love podcasts. Like I love listening to people. Like I listen to or watch like 50 videos a day, you know, of
Yeah.
just like different things. It's like a cooking video, or like somebody building a sword, or like somebody restoring an old axe, or like a fishing video. You know, like I love it. Like I love it. You know, I love Game of Thrones. You know, like I founded my channel on Game of Thrones. You know, and it's just something that it's like my hobby, but I didn't have time for my hobby. But then at the same time, you know, I was just like, man, like most of the Game of Thrones stuff, I'm like, oh, this is old. Everybody is just like, it's all regurgitation, you know, just over and over. Like, I can watch you in your own way say the same thing that somebody else just said. You know, like
Absolutely.
it's it's like, so what am I doing? You know, it's just been a mind fuck, you know, but if there is anybody out there that does actually like me and likes listening to me, likes watching me, you know, we got 100 views on our last video, you know, and just like $1 a person, you know, like it's like shit, that's $100, you know, like
Absolutely.
hey, you know what, hey man, $20 is $20. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It'll keep the lights on 20 minutes longer.
yeah, 20 minutes longer. You know, I mean, shit, fucking actually power bills due today, and I'm kind of scratching my head, you know, like kind of like, ah, shit, you know, and that's just something, yeah, and yeah, we kind of jumped up on the topics there, but I really appreciate that, Greg. Thank you.
No problem,
Thank
buddy.
you.
No problem.
Yeah.
But you know, one way to do it is to create a way out of it, and this could be an outlet. It could be. It might not as well. But don't give up. Keep
You know
your chin
what,
up and keep
dude,
grinding.
and like talking to you and like me and you brainstorming and going back and forth and like creating this list and everything, and it's like I found passion in it again. You know, like
Yeah.
it's invigorating. Like it's like, oh my
And
god,
if
you
you
know,
can get
like
that passion across in your videos, I'm sure other people will pick up on it and want to talk about it to you and get
hopefully,
enthused by it. And then, who knows? The sky's the limit.
hopefully,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah. So everybody go and subscribe or whatever it is to Patreon. I don't personally have one. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but
Me neither,
as
bro. Like I'm doing it as soon as we hang up, man. Like I'm gonna go figure it out, and I will share my knowledge with you as soon as I figure it out.
But guys, don't forget to suggest, and I think there should be a prize or a good mention on the funniest or best reward that you can think of.
Yeah.
Definitely, we should shout that out in the next video.
Cool. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So everybody listen to Greg. He's he's my little coach right now.
So, what do we want to move on to next? We did skip a few topics.
We
there.
did skip a few. Yeah.
I think that you spoke a minute ago about how you watch up to 50 videos a day.
Yeah.
I've got a little bit of a confession to make. I've become addicted to wood turning videos. I like to see them make bowls out of wood.
Like on a lathe.
Yeah.
Like things like that.
I find it fascinating.
I love it. Yeah. Or like somebody will find like a old fireman's axe head, you know, that's all rusted and shit, and they just restore it, you know, like make it brand new. Like, dude, I'm just sitting there like, this is fucking amazing. You know, like it's so fucking good. You know,
you want to know what started me out on that?
What?
It was the hit TV show on History Channel called Forged in Fire. Watching those guys bang out a piece of metal into a knife or an axe head or whatever it was that they were making on whatever episode I watched, me and my wife were really addicted to just watching that on an evening. And then I went and started finding similar things online. And like you say, looking for a sword, a guy making a sword or making Damascus steel.
Oh, dude!
And
like
when
they turn it and like they get the waves in it, you know? Yeah. That,
it's amazing.
It's fucking amazing, dude. Like, have you seen
Yeah,
All Me and Man at Arms?
Yeah.
On YouTube, like, dude, like they're fucking monsters. Like,
That's
they can make anything. And they did that gauntlet, like, that goes all the way down, and it's
yeah,
Wolverine, but it's got Batman fucking throwing stars, you know, like, sticking out of it. Like, what the
incredible.
fuck? You know, like, and, like, they did the whole thing. They made it from scratch.
It
You
is.
know?
It's absolutely incredible. I just wished I could do something
I
like
was
that.
like,
And do you know
man,
what?
what am I doing with my life? You know, like, I have no talents whatsoever.
Do you know what? I had some advice from another American dude once, and he said that there is nothing you can do, that you have the skills to do everything, but it's just the knowledge of how to apply those skills, and that's the key part of it. I think there's not one person in the world that can't make an epic sword if they just had the knowledge of how to apply to do it, or the process to do it.
It's like I have the capacity to actually absorb the information, you know, and actually apply it, you know, but it's like, just in my life, I'm 31, just like you. It's like, what have I actually learned? What do I know how to do? You know, and it's like, well, I went to school. I was really good at my old job. You know, well, I went to high school. You know, I got a little bit of education in college. You know, but like it wasn't. It was generic studies. It was an associate's degree. That just means I read a lot of books and I know a little bit about science and math. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, like.
Whereas I'm just a technician.
Yeah, I never like honed in. I never focused in on like one thing. You know, like it's like I'm very well rounded. You know, but I don't excel at anything. Like, give me a test, I'll pass it.
Absolutely.
Normally, you know, like
the test just proves 9 times out of 10 that you have the ability to do whatever subject that may be.
Yeah,
in my
like if you give me the time and the information, I can learn it, absorb it, and apply it.
Absolutely, and that's kind of what I was saying. Is just that you don't, or people don't necessarily have the ability or the knowledge, not the ability, should I say, to actually apply the skills in order to do some of these things. And the guys that do it, kudos to them. They're amazing. So, what's next? You got music taste, drunk stories, and funny jokes. I think we should put a funny joke in. You got any funny jokes?
I am Crocubot.
Right, Crocubot. So, you're half cold, unfeeling reptile, half also cold, equally unfeeling machine.
Yes.
Wow. So, your origin is what? You fell into a vat of redundancy? God damn!
Yeah, did you, I was telling you about the bear and the rabbit shitting in the woods. Yeah. I told you that one the other night. Yeah, alright, so, everybody, listen here. There was a bear and a rabbit, side by side in the woods taking a shit. And the bear looks down at the rabbit and says, "Hey man, you got a problem with shit sticking to your fur?" The rabbit says no. So the bear picked him up and wiped his ass with it.
Oh dear. I'm just trying to find a joke.
Oh, God. Oh, man, dude. And, like, one of my favorite jokes of all time was actually in the most recent Pirates of the Caribbean movie, dude. It was fucking, it was Paul McCartney. Dude, Paul McCartney was in the fucking movie. It was his uncle or some shit like that. Like,
really?
that was in the jail cell. And he was like, "Hey, did you hear about the joke where the skeleton walked into a bar?" And then everybody's like, "No." You know, it's like, yeah, skeleton walked into a bar and asked for a beer and a mop.
It's not all bad, though. They were spared having to see their grown son wear a whistle. God damn! Thanks, Noob Noob. This guy gets it. God damn!
And then you hear a guy, like, fucking, like, 5 jails down. You know, he just starts laughing. He's like, "That guy gets it." A skeleton walked into a bar and asked for a beer and a mop.
I think my joke was pretty terrible when you compare it to the two we spoke about. The one that I said was two blondes walk into a bar and say, "Ouch."
Yeah, yeah, because they walk into the bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm gonna throw some edits in there. I feel it already. Just to enhance the laughing experience.
So,
Bro, did you watch the new
okay.
Star Wars trailer?
I did. It's just everything I want to see. It's darker. It's sexier. Luke Skywalker's back in it.
Bro.
We got a replacement, Carrie Fisher. Oh, blew my mind.
Alright, I got a good friend
What's
of
epic?
mine, James Bushell. If you watch this, I'm not hating on you, bro. Alright? But my buddy Jimmy B, he fucking hates it. Like, he thinks it's gonna be Empire all over again. He thinks it's gonna be a carbon copy. You know, like, he's so against it, it's not even funny. But the rest of us are like, this is fucking fantastic. Like, dude, my dick got hard when I fucking watched that trailer, dude. I was like, what the fuck? You know, like, dude, sometimes I'll take a nap on the couch and I'll just put on The Force Awakens, like, and just let it play. Like, I love Star Wars. I do, okay? But I'm not like that hardcore, die-hard, read all the spin-off books, etc., person.
Yeah.
You know, but, like, just, like, if you're talking about the movies, I'm like, dude, I fucking love Star Wars. You know?
I
Like,
absolutely love Star Wars as well, but I'm not ashamed to say that I grew up, because of my dad, really, as a Trekkie.
yeah.
Star Trek played a big part in our family life.
Jimmy B's
because
a
of my dad.
Trekkie as well. Yeah.
Yeah. But I really do enjoy, I mean, maybe not so much one or two of them, but certainly the classic Star Wars, you know, 4, 5, and 6, or whatever it is.
Yeah, not
I
1, 2,
enjoy
and
the
3.
originals.
I don't think anybody likes 1, 2, and 3.
But this last one, The Force Awakens, brilliant. I was very happy with it. Very happy.
How'd you feel about Rogue One?
I liked it as a spin-off. I did. It's what I want to. I want to see more stuff like that.
Yeah, no
I want to see
shit.
the side stories. I want to see how things are happening. I want to see more diverse ideas that could be out there in the galaxy and how they're integrating with different things and the power struggles. And I want to see some really cool special effects. I just want to indulge in special effects. I want to see lasers. I want to see Battlestar Galactica lasers flying about everywhere, and
like-
massive ships and armadas of stuff fighting each other. I want to see EVE Online, but in a film.
The only thing that pissed me off about Rogue One, well, and I'm not talking about that ending scene, like where fucking Vader just like, you know, pulls out his fucking lightsaber and just starts like murdering these motherfuckers, you know, picking them up, throwing them down, you know, like.
See, I was happy seeing that because
I loved it. I loved it, but like
Yeah.
in my personal opinion, like, okay, that scene was amazing. I needed 2 more scenes like that.
Yeah.
In the movie, okay, of just Vader being fucking Vader, like instead of just
we
him
never
sitting
really
on
have
this-
had that, have we, from Vader? We've never had, like, what kind of power does he really have?
Bro, like the only thing we got before that was like, oh, I'm sitting on a volcano planet, and I just choked somebody real quick, and I'm like, do my bidding, you know, or fucking fear me, you know, like.
I mean, obviously,
like,
we
okay.
saw the
But I was
Anakin
like, in
power,
reality,
but
like,
we didn't see the Vader power.
all the talk that we've had about Vader is like, dude, he's the greatest villain of all time. You
Yes.
know, like, he is the greatest villain of all time. And you finally did him justice in that final scene, but we only have that final scene. You know, it's like, come up with something. Like, get him to do, like, 2 more scenes just like that. You know, like, and just, like, let everybody know this is Darth motherfucking Vader. You know, like, and they didn't do it, and I was like, dude, they wasted this opportunity. They had the best chance ever to like show who he fucking is. You know,
it's like when they did the Yoda scene when he had 2 dual lightsabers and he was just flying about like a little ant, just flying about. You know, and I think one of the Clone Wars one, 2, or 3. I can't remember which one actually, but they gave him a chance, and when he was younger, I presume, before he met Skywalker, and he was just flying about murdering thousands.
Was it Count Dooku? Yo, complete fuck up on my part. I was talking about Dooku, but I meant General Grievous, like, and then I started thinking about Grievous being Dooku, or is their name swapped? Like, I've always had that trouble. I completely apologize, but however, I'm gonna make it up to you. Watch Yoda flip around for a little bit. No.
Yeah.
What
No,
wasn't
yeah.
Dooku? No. Isn't Dooku the fucking cyborg?
Yes.
So
Yes.
who was the
I think that was the one with Samuel L. Jackson in it anyway.
Right. But what was the dude like? And he had the bent lightsaber. It wasn't Dooku.
Darth Maul? No.
No. Well, Darth Maul was the one with the
He was the
horns
first.
and the fucking shit. Jesus Christ, I'm fucking failing myself right now. That's gonna bother me.
But do you know what else I really want to see from Star Wars? I want to see not just the extremes of the rebels being in the worst possible shape that they could be. I want to see, and you get a little hint of it when you had the Jedi school and you saw the kids go with Anakin going in. I want to see more of the utopian, it's all working fine kind of stuff, and then I want to see the crash down. You know, I want to see more of that. I want to see how it was and what it's supposed to be going towards. With
you mean like back in the day? You want to see it when it was flourishing?
Yeah,
You
I
know,
want to see that because
in the new
you got
movie,
that.
like, you know, we've skipped so much time in between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, etc., etc. You're gonna see Luke being the only survivor after that temple gets fucking annihilated.
Absolutely.
Luke, way to go, dude. And then,
I'm
like,
glad
dude,
he came back.
it always blows my fucking mind to know that Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, is the voice of Joker in those infamous 90s Batman's cartoons. And he did such a good fucking job.
I doubt many people really know that unless they're like super fans.
Yeah, like super fans. Yeah, like watching the cartoon and everything. Like I remember my dad, like we were sitting on the couch and he goes, "That's Luke Skywalker," and I was like, "What?" You know, like I was a little kid. You know, we were both born in '86. You know, like it's like 1993, 94. You know, it's like we're young, we're children. You know, and man.
Oh, do you know what? Do you remember a cartoon, like Future Batman kind of thing? It was
Batman
his son.
Beyond?
Something like that. Wouldn't it be cool if they did a movie about that?
With Terry? Yeah, dude. Like, Terry is actually Batman's son, but there was like a weird connection why he is his son.
Yeah.
Dude, it's fucking insane. And then they did a spin-off comic book where Damian, his actual son, because that was Bruce Wayne and Talia's son, which was Talia is the daughter of Ra's al Ghul. Like, Damian grew up with the League of Shadows, and then he became Robin, and then just past all this time, Damian actually becomes Ra's al Ghul. You know, like the baddest motherfucker on the planet. You know, and then so Terry's got to go in and fucking whip his ass. You know, it's fucking great.
Do you think that Robin should get a mech suit as well?
For what? I mean, like, it depends on what you're doing.
Because like he's normally just in spandex.
Well, they're
So
all
if-
normally in spandex.
Yeah, but he had a mech suit this time. Imagine Robin standing next to him and he's got this massive mech suit on and he's just in like lycra.
Well, which Robin are you talking about? Because if you're talking about Dick Grayson, like, fucking he's Nightwing. Like, dude, I can go on about this for days. Like, I can go on, like, forever. Like, and there was even a movie called Son of Batman. Like, and
Yeah.
it was after the New 52 of, they rebooted the DC Comics, and Damian showed up, and he's Robin. Like,
Yeah.
little Damian, like, he's a little kid. He's a little kid. And he's fucking Robin. And Batman goes out of town, and Robin starts running amok all over town, like kicking people's ass and killing them and shit. And Nightwing shows up, and it's Dick Grayson, like the original Robin. And he finally wrapped him up in like a net and like hung him from a fucking street light. And he called fucking Batman on the phone, and he was like, dude, like, I'm done babysitting, man. Like, he was like, he won the fight, but he got his ass kicked. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it was just, it's humorous. Like, it was really funny. It was really funny to see. Like,
Yeah.
I love that shit so much. I love it to the bottom of my heart so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that may do it for this evening's podcast. We still got a lot of points to talk about. I guess we'll just recycle it and talk about it next time. But, Greg, I want to thank you, sir, for
No problem at all.
coming over here and saying hey to me and talking to me and helping me out a little bit. Once again, I know you said it in the beginning, but I want you to tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Whitestorm, Whitestorm's page, I suppose you could call it, on YouTube, and you can also find me on the Facebook page as well. And from there, the sky's the limit. Come and hang out, see what we can do. I currently don't stream. I used to stream all the time, but my internet sucks, so it's literally just going to be standalone videos. I've got a few things in the planning, but also you can find me on the Wildfire Community YouTube page as well. Mainly World Attack stuff though, so I don't think many people really enjoy that. And I don't tend to do this face cam kind of opinion stuff, but maybe me and Don the Kraken Wit will make this a more regular thing, or maybe I'll just pop in and out every so often, who knows.
Well, thanks, buddy. Once again, thank you for coming by and chatting with me, and everybody else, thank you for coming and supporting us. It's great. Like, this is something that we both wanted to do. It's something that we both wanted to talk about. Just all of these different topics, and just kind of let loose. And this is a conversation for everybody. So in the comments below, let us know how you feel about it. And we're gonna constantly kind of change little things up here and there. We're gonna work on our editing stuff. That's how we even met in the fucking first place. But anyways, so guys, thank you for coming by. Love you guys. Don the Kraken Wit. Talk to you later.